military family as well as having served a combined 25 years active and guard military career. Ray is a retired education consultant and is now a speaker, a performing mentalist, and a stage hypnotist. He has lived in or traveled through all 50 states and in 23 countries. He shows how having an adaptive strategy for reacting to changes in your personal and professional life can be developed. This approach to how you think about change can be applied to a company culture as well.
Given to my age here, and I have some notes because my talk's a little bit shorter for you, and out of respect for your time, I want to try to cut myself down a little bit. See if this, of course, I don't know, I haven't been a first sergeant, I probably can be heard real easily in this room. My topic is change, and of course today is an appropriate time to think about change. Because 14 years ago, the whole world changed for everybody with the crash into the towers, the Pentagon, and the meadow out there. The thing about modern times, change, that's not working. Change comes so much faster than it ever did before. I remember reading back when I was in college, an awful long time ago, Alan Toffler's book, Future Shock came out. One of the things he talked about was not only all the changes that happen with the technological advances that were coming to fruit right then, but how quickly, and that's what society would have the most trouble with. You know, only babies like change. Nobody else does. But changes are everywhere. And of course, I always like to have examples to show people about change and how it comes up. Some change is small, like weather. Some change is large. Some change we know about. Some is good, some is not so good. And how we react really can affect our lives and our families' lives. Ben Franklin said, when you're finished changing, you're finished. Which some of you, like me, will recognize that sounds a lot like Yogi Berra. But think about that. You are always changing. And why do we cringe at it sometimes? Why do we get suspicious or dislike it? Researchers are now beginning to say we as human beings are genetically, get that out right, genetically programmed to be suspicious of change.
I don't know.
That is there because our early ancestors, if they were not aware and suspicious of change, might be lunch for some predator. And today, being aware of change around you could well, like a street light that's out on your street, whether you're driving or walking, might protect you from a mugger. So there's some good things there to be thinking about. Russ Landon is a change management specialist and author and what have you. He says today, modern 21st century folks, it's not fear so much it is the perception that change is going to make us uncomfortable, take us out of our comfort zone, that it's all about perception. But, perceptions are many times wrong. I've made a pretty good living the last few years proving to people that their perceptions are not what they, it's not necessarily reality. For instance, your perception, 30-inch, white, cotton rope. In fact, I got 3 of them. But is that perception or is that reality? I'll let you decide what it might be. We get fooled very easily in life, and we tend to fool ourselves. We want to say, well, if I ignore it, it'll go away. tend to ignore change instead of embracing it. It can be bad, yeah. I mean, your company gets downsized and you get a door pass. A relationship ends, maybe even a divorce. Health changes. All kinds of things like that. But good ones too can cause a great deal of discomfort. A promotion that requires a transfer to another city. Big time change and discomfort. A promotion within your company where now you are supervising people that used to be your co-workers. How do you adjust? You have to adjust. I got my introduction to the U.S. military not at 18 when I joined the Air Force, but at about 3 months of age when my father got his next set of transfer orders. Second grade, I went to 3 different schools in 3 different cities in 2 different countries. My way of adapting was sports. I wasn't all that good athletically, I just didn't know when to quit. And I was always about a head taller than most of my classmates. As a kid coming back to the States, to the state of Texas, my dad's last duty assignment, I remember leaving Germany as the slowest member of the soccer team, all these little guys running circles around me, and discovering American football and going, oh, I get to grab these guys now? Life is good. My 6th grade football physical, I was 5 foot 6 inches tall and 130 pounds. Puberty had hit already. All I had to do was come off the line and go, like that, and the quarterback could take a shot, straight shot for the goal line. 3 months before my 12th birthday, I woke up with a very bad headache. And when I say bad, I mean bad. I was diagnosed with polio. 17 days before the Salk vaccine came to our city. So Rotary International has a very soft place in my heart. I tell you. Polio changed everything for me. I went from being a star athlete to not being able to move anything below my neck there for a while. So I had to make an adjustment. So what am I going to say? What am I really getting to with you guys? It's about getting you to change your idea of how you look at change. And maybe do it more on your own terms. Now, I had to learn how to walk all over again. I had a lot of time to read. 2 things that were of interest to me about that time was chess and magic. And I became a pretty good chess player. Pretty fair magician, too. And I saw our chess club guest one time, he was a chess master from somewhere, take on everybody at once and beat most of them. Fact is, a few months later, they were saying he beat everybody, you know, that rewriting of things. It sure seemed like that. And I wanted to know what was his secret. I got a book co-written by him. And not only did I understand a lot more about the game of chess, I learned a lot about the game of life from it. And you say, how in the world has that got to do with life? Life isn't a game. Sometimes it is. Sure not that easy. You're right about that. But you think about what I learned there. The premise I came away from with that book was that a chess master knows that if he or she can occupy or control those 4 center squares of the board, they'll win more games than they lose. It's just that simple. Now they do that by either occupying the square themselves or having an attack piece like the rook or the bishop or the knight that can take anybody that moves into those squares. And life is a lot that way. If we can win most of the time, then we're going to be on top, even in life. You don't have to win every game at tennis to be the star, to win the match. Same thing with chess. I had to take one of my squares that had worked for me so well, the sports, and replace it with something else. And I used doing magic shows. Did my first one in the 7th grade. Thought that impressed the girls because about that time I discovered that all girls weren't like my sisters. And I thought girls liked it. Because I thought so. We know better. I also had to develop with my dad a very aggressive physical therapy program. At 13, I was told I would never use my right arm again, and maybe not my right leg. We put together a very aggressive physical therapy program, included guided imagery and a whole lot of other stuff like that. I don't know exactly what did it. I think a combination of all of that and the fact that I was, the growth plates were still expanding and the hormones and all that. I can say this, in 2 years I was out of all braces, and in 4 years I was in the Air Force. Didn't know what I wanted to do, but I had no money for college. My dad had just retired from the Air Force himself. I was the oldest. And I knew that I got offered computer maintenance, and the only thing I knew about them is they had to be cool in the summer, warm in the winter, and they didn't fit the foxhole. And I didn't want to be drafted by the Army. So off I went. So my squares, if you will, my 4 center squares became the military lifestyle, the working in a very high-tech, very cool place to be, not just cool temperature-wise, but cool to say, oh, I'm a computer tech. And nice transfers. I'm off to Mississippi, Louisiana, then Germany. Came back from there to California, driving a 30-year-old right-hand drive English sports car. And still sail. Life was good. My center squares were solid, steady pay, steady job, no extra duties. Nobody understood what we did in that computer shop anyway. And that was supported by a good work ethic, able to follow rules and behave myself. And I met a new commanding officer who called me in and said, Sergeant, you have not been participating in improving yourself off duty. You haven't taken any college classes. Cut that story short. He admitted he couldn't make me take a college class, but he could sure make me wish I had. And I've been enjoying instructing and teaching new people as they came into our shop. And I took a psychology class because I thought I could use it as a supervisor, and something clicked. A few months later, I'm on a college campus going to college full-time to become a psychologist. New square. College. Of course, I'm building a new protection piece, attack piece, if you will, a formal education. Things are going smooth. I'm working for the university as a student employee. 4 years go by, I'm starting graduate school. 29 years old on the college campus. I don't have to paint a picture for you, at least not for the guys, how good that was. And I take an extra class. I had a slot, seemed like a good idea, it might make me a little more marketable, a little wider field. Walked into that classroom, looked across the room, and went, who is that woman? The most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. It took me 4 months to get a date with her. 3 months later, we were married. Neither one of us had jobs. I did have a head full of hair at the time. But now 2 squares are being changed at the same time. Marriage has become one of my squares, but still supported by a good formal education. And my wife had one too, so we were working together on those squares. We took jobs with the U.S. government because we both like to travel, and off we went. Good center squares, good support, good protection. Came back from overseas. Things are going cool. We got kids. That's a new square thrown in there, replacing this traveling all over the world square, this lifestyle. A whole new lifestyle square, would be the way to put it. And pretty nice. And I get an offer of a transfer to San Francisco. And I took a look at that career square and how wonderful that would be, a promotion and travel. I had to go to Hawaii once a year on business. You know, I had to turn it down. I wanted to protect the lifestyle I had here in Iowa and my family. So I made that adjustment of kind of taking that square of a career and advancement and say, okay, that's cool, that's good enough. And added a square, the one that I had of family and community, I enhanced. Became a scoutmaster, became more active in my church, serving on a school board committee, doing things like that. Now, what are your squares? Do you have them fully identified? You know, the more you know what it is, the better. Every game has kibitzers. We've heard plenty this morning after last night's game. After the game on Saturday, there'll be even more. The kibitzers are usually about how they could have done it better. But the worst one's right here in our own head. That self-talk, that negative self-talk. That you're not good enough, or that's too big a chance to take. You have to use those attack pieces, your bishop, which might be your personal code of ethics, your faith, your church, your family, to help you handle that negative self-talk and put it together. The way you do that is always be ready for change coming along. Like say your knight might be your military experience, your formal education, your technical education, your experience. Your bishop might be your personal code of ethics, your family, your faith. The rook, your friends, family, all that can support you there. Because change is going to keep on happening, whether you want it to or not. It's always going to be there. So, if you will, just pay attention so that when change occurs, you're ready for it. You can handle it. My wife was to go back from being a full-time teacher, from being a full-time mother to being a teacher. 2 days before she had signed the contract, she was in a head-on car collision. Suffered a brain injury. And trying to figure out over the next few months what I was going to do, I sat down, had a little talk with myself about my own skills, those squares I had there, those attack pieces, how could I rebalance? And I put together my hobby of magic and my knowledge of hypnosis from grad school, and I became an entertainer. And I still do that, traveling all over the United States. And it paid for 5 kids to go to school and graduate. And my wife eventually recovered and resumed being a special ed teacher, but for her own reasons. So, think about what are your squares. On the table there, I have a valve for you to help me see what I do well or what I don't do well. There's a little prize for those who will pick from it. But there's also some sheets there, they're upside down, just for you to take home with you. Take action. Identify your squares. Think about it a little bit. Talk about it with a loved one. We are all full of great ideas. I will, I should, I might. But do we take action? Maybe that sheet of paper will help you do that. Thank you.